Hi everybody, this is Debbie Tussey and this is part 2 of the Nightmare Before Christmas Shadow Box tutorial. This is what we're going to be making. I posted a little, I'm going to have to do it in parts because I'm not good at this techie stuff, but in part 1 I showed a list of everything that you would need with the exception of a little piece of purple or whatever color you choose for bats, a little piece of vinyl, to go behind those. What I've done, actually I guess before I start I need to talk about a few things. When you first, let me back up even more. Thank you so much. I just want to say thank you. Everybody's been so great and your compliments and your everything. I just appreciate it so much. It keeps me wanting to do this more. I don't do this for profit. This is just a hobby, stress relief, and I'm really grateful to have found it this year. So when you start doing a file, there's a couple things. Clean the glass. These come so dirty, inside and out. I can't believe it sometimes how dirty they are. And then when you go to make your box, you're going to measure from the innermost part in both directions. And these are two identical frames bought from the same place on the same day, and they measure differently. So always measure and use a cheap piece of paper to do your first cut, and that way it saves your nice craft paper cardstock, because man, that stuff is getting expensive. Also, let me see, I made some notes so I could remember some stuff. I guess that's it. I'll tell you a little bit. First of all, I was supposed to do a video a while back. I did that short one and I promised another one, and everything's just happened and I just haven't had time. I'm actually leaving in the morning at 7 a.m. and trying to squeeze this in before I go. Everybody was just, they loved this box so much and I really want to help. And hopefully you'll get something from it. If not, it's okay. So when you see these files, this is how it works for me. I'll see a file on Etsy or whatever. I'm sorry about the reflection. But I see it in my head, how I think it should look or what I want it to look like. So I find whatever I can at the store, at the house, whatever, to try to create it the way I want it. Sometimes I even modify the files. I guess that's okay. I don't know. The seller that I buy most from is Wooden Models Art on Etsy. He's just so friendly. We've become internet friends. He done some custom boxes for me and the customer service was just amazing. And I love all the files. Every one I've done, I've not had an issue cutting any of them. Usually most of this part weeded itself. The part that you may have trouble weeding is when we do this part, which we're going to get to in just a second. But I'll go over what we're going to use. Again, this is weather stripping, and it comes in black and white and in different thicknesses, and I get it from Amazon. They had a sale a while back and I stocked up. And I'm starting to run out. You'll need a couple Zots, some cheap tape, a set of green, purple, and white, the little fairy lights. Just the little cheap ones will do just fine for this. And for me, I like the plastic board. You can use whatever colored paper you want to use. Make it your own. This is your project. This is just what I like to do. This sheet that I did the moon, I love this stuff. It's kind of iridescent-y. It was called Galaxy Glitz. This is the tangerine color. And when I started doing this early in the year, I fell in love with this stuff, and then Michael's stopped selling it. So I drove between here and Kentucky. I think I stopped at every Michael's store there was multiple times trying to get all I could. But so far I can't find it anymore. I've just got a few sheets left. So I went ahead, I guess I've already said it, I cut this out. Nobody wants to sit and watch somebody cut out 9 sheets of paper. So I went ahead and did that, and I wanted to point out on the layer that has the trees, there's a little owl in each tree. I don't know if you can see it, but I like details. I think that's what makes a file work, like the Christmas one where it's the red truck where it said Merry Christmas across the back. I love that. I loved it. So what I did was I used my handy dandy little weeding tool, and I poked 2 holes into the owl to make eyes, and then I stuck a little vinyl. Hopefully I can light those up this time. And that first one I made, my example, I didn't get it lit very well, but just keep trying. It may work and it may not. Sorry. This is not my normal craft room. My daughter moved home back over the summer, and she's already back in Kentucky, but she's coming to get the rest of her stuff this coming weekend, and then I should have a craft room back. I'm kind of looking forward to it, even though I'll miss her. But everything, I like to be organized, and I'm not organized right now. So let's jump into it. You cut out the layers. This is the sheet that I like also. It's a silver. It's a new one. I hadn't seen it. I got it at Hobby Lobby a couple days ago. But when you go to do the sheet that's going to be behind this, that's going to make everything glow, as you can see, this is that purple. It's just a little piece of scrap vinyl, and because the back is the adhesive side, I just used tape, the cheapo tape, and I taped it on. I hope you can see that. Doesn't have to be perfect, just cover it, and then the light will make it pop a little. Again, with the pumpkins, because nothing's going to be sticking on the front of this, I'm just going to stick this vinyl to the back. The sticky side will be to the front, but the rest of it, the house and Oogie Boogie, will have to put the vinyl onto the plastic and then cut it out. So I'm going to turn the camera down, and hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. So for this, we can just peel off the orange, and all you want to do is make sure you're covering all of the pumpkin faces. That is the gist of it. And just smooth that out. There's a little corner sticking off. And when you go ahead and do this one, it's going to help line these other ones up. Because, let me show you my mistake when I was trying it earlier. I saved this. I was trying to do all 3 colors on this, and as you can see, I missed. I tried to seam it together, but you could see it. So, and then I also messed up with the house. So there's one mistake. So now I cut my plastic as close. You got to leave a little edge, because you know that the Cricut comes inset a little bit before it starts cutting. So I leave it a little bit like that on the edge. Let me find I should have been more organized to do this. I'm going to cut this. The house, you just want to cover the outer edges. It's not going to be perfect. If anybody has a tip on how to get the goo, the sticky goo, off of the scissors, please, please tell me. Okay, I have no fingernails, folks. This is so hard for me to peel. There. Okay, so you're just gonna have to eyeball it. Something may be off. Hopefully this one will work out for me. Once you get it kind of where you know it's going to cover the area, you can just smooth it down. Having the pumpkins done takes a load off, because that's part of what happened earlier. And now, because I can see that Oogie Boogie's head, or the tip of it, or whatever it is coming over on the yellow, I'm going to just make me a little mark, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. Let me find me a marker. And again, you may go through several pieces like I have, because it doesn't take much to mess it up, but that's okay. That's how we learn, is through mistakes. So I'm going to peel that up. The yellow that I'm using is actually removable vinyl. But the green is permanent. And that's one reason. There's two reasons I put it on this for Oogie Boogie. When you do, and it kind of reflects off the plastic too, and it makes it look more like it's dripping. So that's what we're going for. And cut off this little edge. It's not a big deal, it'll come off later, but. Well, and I still missed a piece. I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to be fast, but that never works out when I'm actually trying. I'll try these other scissors. Okay. So we've got the purple for the bats. We've got the yellow. And now we got to do the green. You want the green to come above and all the way down here so that it covers all of his face and his body. Let's see. And I'm actually gonna, best I can, put it all the way over so it'll get the grass and the tombstones as well, because it looked kind of neat earlier when it did that. One thing about having the sticky, the sticker side of the vinyl, it will stick. So always try to cover it, because I forgot to cover it with tape everywhere so it won't stick to your next layer. Makes life a little easier. Okay. So let me see. So I'm going to put this pretty much right up onto the yellow and down. I know I'm going to waste a lot, but that's okay. And I do need to cut out, you don't want it necessarily behind the pumpkins, but we can peel that off once we cut it. I think it was a little easier the first time I did this. So I'm going to put me a little mark, just scratch it. And that's where I'm going to line that up. So I'm just going to peel it from here. Trying to leave it in place. And of course that didn't work out. But just use the little marks. Wow, I've really messed this up. Hold on. Use the brayer. Okay, let's see how it's going to line up. That should work. Let me check one thing with the lights. I need to come back and cut some of this green off. I'll go ahead and get the sides. Actually, I'll need that. I'm going to mark it again the best I can. Well, I can't because I forgot I filled in the pumpkin face. But I want to come to about right here and cut that off. So I'm just going to score it. Better not do it too far until I make sure. That's what happened to that last one. There's just a little bit, and if we line it up, nope, I gotta cut just a little bit more. When you double up on the vinyl, it will cause it to look black, the orange, the green behind the orange. It's just too dark and we want it to pop. Let's see. Okay, that should line up. And hopefully I can get this air bubble out that I just noticed. As long as we can get it below the mouth, let me peel it up. Okay, so let's cut that off. And now we're going to cut what is going to be our last layer before we start assembling. So one thing, I don't know if I mentioned it, but when I cut the plastic, I cut it on poster board settings. And it will dig into your mat. So if you have an older mat that you don't care getting cut up, then I recommend using that. And I just stick that on. My computer has timed out. Let me start that back up. And we'll load it in and get that one cut. Okay, so while that is cutting, we'll start doing the assembly. Sorry, I have little pieces of stuff everywhere. So for the first one, it's just a frame. Move that up a little bit. Just stick that one in there. And then for the spider web and the gate, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna tape the corners together, because these two, they don't really need to be separated. And they can actually go in either order that you want, because it's not a big deal if these two get out of order. But I just use a little tape. Because this is not going to be seen. I keep getting little pieces of the vinyl wrapper. Okay. I just do all four corners. So kind of just turn it into one layer. And this is going to be the first layer that we actually use the spacing on, and also the lights. Let me try to get a little organized over here, I'm sorry. We're going to start with the purple lights. And I have to untangle them. The way I did this box, the lights kind of do get in a mess because I'm dealing with 3 and they're coming off differently. And what I did, I just started in the corner. I could try to angle the lights inside the box, if that makes sense. You can see that pulled it a little, so just adjust it. You don't want to have wrinkles, which your spacer will take care of a whole lot of that. I really need lotion, but oh no. And of course my machine's messing up now. Not messing up, but thankfully I caught it. Just tape these in. By the way, it took approximately 30 minutes to cut all those other layers except for this last one. And you can, of course, while you're working on that, go ahead and assemble all this vinyl on the plastic and everything. And I want a little light to come in the side, so I'm just going to double this wire up and bend it together. And throw in a little piece of tape. And then cut your foam. And I just measure 2 pieces of the lengthwise direction. And when I put this on, I try to keep the wire under the sticky part, but the light, this frame is a little bit narrow. Just kind of push the light out while using the sticky to hold the rest of the wires down. I hope you can see that. And just flip it and do the other side. It's not And then I kind of measure inside, just eyeballing it. Doesn't have to be perfect. But I do like having it all the way across, because then you don't have the little waffles and you don't have the little sticky tabs showing through. And sometimes you just can't avoid that. But when you can avoid it, we'll do it. And I see a mistake. I need to put a light over here. Let me try to carefully pull this up. I'll just have that one light there. And put the wire back in under there, and then I need this light actually shining up on the fence. I get nervous, I get in a hurry, and then I forget things, but it's okay. We can fix anything on here. Except maybe how to hold tape. Well, I'm making this look pretty complicated, but it's not, I promise. We'll just use this to hold that down. Try to get as much of the wire and under here that you can. Trim a little piece of this off. Okay, so we're going to set that aside and we're going to go peel this off and hope that it worked. You turn your mat upside down, and that's, thank you Jennifer Maker for teaching me that. That's helped so much. It will come right off. Just poke out the little pieces. And that's it. It actually weeded pretty well. And now, there's a little bit of green on the castle, but that's okay. And when you walk by this in the daytime, I love it because the lights, the eyes rather, will actually change color. I just love it. So for this layer, we're also gonna just tape it together in all four corners. Okay, so let's get our box back over here. We've got our first layer. We can go ahead and put it in there. A lot of people ask about the ones that have the removable inserts, taking those out, but you have to have this edge for the back of the frame to rest on. So now, like I said, I don't know if I said it earlier, but one of the good things about the Etsy seller that I buy from, he does, sorry, wrong file. He does a PDF file, and you can just open that up. And this is actually the wrong file. Give me just 1 second, I'm sorry. Where did it go? I have so much stuff I've downloaded. It should be right there. Let's see. Oh, I downloaded it yesterday. He does a PDF file. I hope you can see that. And if you open up the PDF file, it will show you what order they go in. If you get lost, it's really handy. It's one of my favorite things about him. Okay, so the next layer that we're gonna do is gonna be this one. So what I think on this one, we're gonna put the white lights, or the green lights, I'm sorry, behind it. And we're gonna basically do it the same way. Let me turn that back down. And if you have a little tape showing like through these little small spaces, it doesn't really show, it won't hurt anything. But that piece of tape is too big. Just kind of bend it however you need it. Just gonna put one there. And then bring it on around. And when you get around to the front, well, like the scar, I tried to get one right in the stitch. So I try to line it up behind it, if you can see that. So like right there. And then we're gonna do the same for the eyes. Try to get a light in each eye. Sometimes I face them down if I want a lot of light, and otherwise I turn them sideways. But that looks good. All these lights are crazy, these wires. Up there should be good. I made it all the way through a Christmas box a while back and got to the very last one and accidentally snipped the wire. And normally it wouldn't matter, except I had the lights going backwards, so I had to completely redo it. That was a lesson I'll never forget. I don't think I'll ever make that mistake again. I don't know, these normally are not so wadded up when they come out. We're gonna do the same for the mouth. I do love how these lights bend and you can do all kinds of things with them. I'm gonna have to get this untangled, I'm sorry. That's the drawback to them though, they're everywhere. And now your wires will show through on this, so you can just move them, bend them out of the way after the fact, move stuff around, whatever you need to do. Bend it in. And flip it over and look, and like that one moved a little, just twist it and bend it however you need it. Don't be afraid of them, for sure, because I was in the beginning. Okay, and then for the pumpkins, you can actually use the green lights. And I just put one light in front of each face, and before I move on, this is where we're going to use our dots to try to hold this together. Yeah, one should do it. And then bring your lights over to the pumpkins. Sometimes I use hot glue, but I find this is just faster and easier most of the time. I think I missed one. Sure. I think this is it on this one. Finally got it untangled. Let's see, nope, we use the white lights for the windows. So we'll move on to that. I told you it got complicated with the 3 sets of lights. Let's see. Make sure I get these untangled first, so I don't run into that again. Okay, and for this, I see one little piece that didn't weed out. Fold these up the best we can. Sometimes these little wires pull out and it just ruins the whole set. Be very careful with that. We're going to light up the black rose with one single light. And I've learned that it used to drive me crazy if a wire would show or anything, but I've learned that most people don't even notice it, and sometimes it's just got to show to get it the way you want it. Let me trim this. Okay, and then we're going to bring this light down here. Just kind of come around. Try to move some stuff out of the way. So one light on each part should light up the whole thing, each wing of the castle or tower. I just need to bend it over. I'm going to flip this and make sure that the lights, that the windows are lighting up. Yeah, we'll do one more light there on the bottom set. I'm going to flip that one that way to try to get a little light over into this other tower. I'll leave that one out because we're going to keep going up and take care of the bats with these. I feel like this is going to be super boring for you guys because it's going so slowly and I don't really know what to say while I'm doing this. I'm making a trip to Kentucky tomorrow, and then I'm going to be coming straight home, and then coming on Tuesday I'm going to go pick up my grandkids and keep them for a week. So I'm really excited about that, to finally have some time with them. It seems like it's been forever with everything that's been going on. So I'm sure they're going to want to make a shadow box. I made each of them one when I first started, but I'm sure they're going to want to make their own. So who knows, there may be another video. Hopefully it'll go faster. All right, we're getting so close to being done now. All right. Well, I don't know how that got over there. Just tape or glue or whatever you got to do to get the wires wherever you want them. Okay. All right, let's cut some foam. These scissors aren't sharp, they're just covered with adhesive. And on this, I always bend it backwards because it has a tendency to curl. But it won't matter if your thickness is right in the frame because it'll all be smushed together anyway. Stick that down. I also wanted to say thank you to Ray Davis. I met her on here on one of these groups, and she's just been so great and so nice and helped me pick colors. I don't know how many times. And Lori, that I'm actually helping make a box right now, she's just super nice. I've met a whole lot of really nice people thanks to Cricut and Facebook. We can just put that one in. And as long as you don't pull these wires very much, you're going to be okay. The next one is going to be the owls. So what we're going to do is go ahead and put our foam on it. And then we're going to try to light those owl eyes up. Everybody asks, how much do you charge? Do you sell them? And I don't know what to ask because I've invested a lot in some of the boxes. And I know no one's ever going to want to pay what I put in, like the ones that are, how deep are they? They're 10 by 10 by 4.5 inches deep. And then the lights that go in them and all the paper, because those take a lot of layers. So I just don't know. I'd like to be able to figure that out. But right now, I'm not in it for the money, so it doesn't really matter. I've given most of them away as gifts. I'm going to try to, if you can see, I'm going to bend this down as much as I can so I can stick that light right on the owl's face. Try to get it to stay. And normally I do not do this inside the box, but this is just a few files, and I think it will help with this little wire with my owls. So That one's going to be that color, and then this one I'm just going to use the lights that's on this color, on this side, the purple ones. Just not quite enough room to get it right on the owl's face. That's what happened to me earlier. So we're just gonna go with it. Win some, lose some. Okay, and I'm gonna leave that there and go ahead and get this in. We are so close, folks. Be careful when you're doing this in the box, because it will stick to the side, and that is not fun. Okay. When it curls up, remember it doesn't matter that much, especially in the back layers, because your back panel is going to close that right up for you. You can hide a lot of mistakes in the back. And the last 3 layers we can tape together as well and just do them as one layer. And this is where you're going to use another Zot. The cloud tends to want to pop forward. When I first started doing this, and I used I think I got the 3D Zots, I didn't know what I was doing. I hated those things. And then I figured out how to use them and use these small ones, and now I've gotten to where I really like them. So now I'm going to turn the lights on, and we're going to try to light up specific areas on the moon. Just bring that in. We're going to make that one purple. Just stick a little piece of tape there. And I am going to try to hide the wires on this one so it doesn't come right through that crescent part of the moon. Just a little. Okay. And then we'll have us a green one here. We'll do another purple up here. And then for the rest of these, it's just kind of willy-nilly. Some of them I take my time and put them in certain spot, you know, do a design or whatever, but stuff like this, it really doesn't matter because your lights are coming from the inside mainly. So I just tape a couple corners down. Sorry. I feel like this is really lagged on. I'm so sorry. And then all the white lights we can put in here. I'm going to try to get them to all come out the same side. Oh, I forgot we have bats here. So let's try to get those. I forgot all about those. But that should be good. Just a couple little pieces to kind of keep it from being so all over the place, I guess. Spin that in. Let me find the back. We're going to close it up. I like to stick the little tiny wire part through and do the coated part on the outside because they will indeed come off, pull apart. This is why I like these frames instead of the ones with the little bendy things. And there we have it. So this is as close as I could get. Let me turn off the light here, one of them anyway. Let's see. So there it is. I hope I was able to help. I'm really sorry that this has went on for an hour. I truly did not think it would take that long. But anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to message me. You can Facebook me. My email is rundebbierun@live.com. So if you have any questions, if I can help, thank you so much. And please show me your boxes that you make. Bye.